Well, hi again, everybody. And you thought you had gotten rid of us, but you have not. Tim Alcorn with AM 930 WEOL, Shaun Bennett from the Chronicle Telegram. And yes, we are back for weekly videos. And we're going to talk for the next couple of months high school baseball and softball with the Diamond Chat. And a huge thank you goes out to Dr. Karen Kramer in Grafton, a dentist in the area that has supported high school sports on WEOL and in the Grafton community for many, many years. So a huge thank you to Dr. Kramer for helping us with this show. We're glad to be back with you. And Diamond Chat now gets underway this week with our first talk as far as what's going on out on the diamonds in Lorain County, both high school baseball and high school softball-wise. And Shaun Bennett, although we're fresh off wrestling, I know you're a huge, huge fan and a huge supporter of high school softball in the area.
Yeah, and I've been covering that sport probably about 15 years or so. As the area got hot in it, it became a hotbed in the state and in the country, and Keystone and Elyria starts winning state titles. I got to go cover some big games, and it got me pumped up. Put my daughter in the sport, and she's now in high school playing high school softball. So I took over the high school beat last year. So now I'm really immersed in it, and I really kind of enjoy the athletes and the teams in the area.
And certainly on the WEOL side, a lot of coverage as far as high school baseball and high school softball is concerned. In fact, I hope you were able to pick up the latest issue of the WEOL Forecast magazine. All sorts of high school baseball and high school softball as far as coverage is concerned in the Forecast magazine. Well, Shaun, let's delve right into this. Even though wrestling and basketball just finished up, the young guys on the baseball side and the girls on the softball side, they're out there playing already. It's been cold, it's been rainy, but they're out there playing. We've got some games in early on, and certainly there are teams with high expectations in the Lorain County area. And let's delve into that a little bit, especially over in Amherst, both baseball and softball-wise. Huge hopes for the Amherst Comets and the Lady Comets on the softball side this year. Let's talk with Amherst on the softball side first.
Yeah, one of the things I do for the Chronicle is cover the signing days in the county. I go to all the different schools, and the one thing that's kind of about Amherst on both baseball and softball is they have multiple athletes who are going to be going on to the next level and playing collegiately. And that's obviously true with the softball team. They've got several big-name players, starting with Madison Oberg. She's a junior. She's going to University of Maryland, Baltimore County, Division I NCAA school. She's one of the best pitchers in the county, one of the best power hitters in the county. She's like a do-it-all type of athlete. They got Casey McGraw, who I think hit 25 or so doubles last year, which
wow.
you're talking that 25 doubles in an MLB season with 162 games that's a pretty good year. But when you're talking, just like 30, 40 games of high school ball, that's incredible. So she had just an amazing. She set the school record, obviously, in that category. Just a lot of athletes in that program right now are just kind of stepping up. Lauren Couture was the Southwestern Conference MVP last year. So, I mean, it's just like all county, all district, all SWC athletes across the board there. And they're only 2 years removed from going to the Division I state tournament. So they're back and trying to hit that goal once again.
And I know in talking to Coach Lacey Reichert and some of the girls that you just alluded to, they came up shy of going back to the Final Four last year. I think that's fueling them as far as the spring of 2018 is concerned. They got a taste of what it's like to play at Firestone Stadium in Akron. They want to go back.
Yeah, they had the schedule set up for it. SWC's got tough opponents. They play, in the Priebus Memorial out there in LaGrange. They set themselves up with a tough schedule to get ready for that brutal playoff atmosphere. So I think they've got as good a shot of anybody in the county of making a run for it.
And we mentioned over at Amherst high expectations on the baseball side as well. Matt Rossitano, the head coach of the Amherst baseball program, has really done a phenomenal job. Boy, they've got front-line pitching as far as the Comet team this year is concerned. Evan Shawver, he is just a dynamite guy on the mound for the Amherst Comet. So it looks like Amherst could once again make a big run as far as high school baseball is concerned. In fact, we were talking before we rolled here, Shaun, a lot of people have Amherst penciled in as perhaps a Final Four team.
Yeah, and I mean they're obviously right out the gate. They take on one of the top other teams in the county, and the Elyria Catholic can get a win. So they're already rolling with some momentum. As I said, I covered that Amherst signing day, the last signing day. I think there was 3 or 4 baseball players that were among the crowd of Amherst players who were signing with colleges. So they're pumped up. They've got the talent to do it. They've got the passion, and now they're starting to roll that momentum up. So I'm expecting big things out of the Comets on the baseball side as well.
I want to transition back to softball for just a moment because certainly, as you alluded to when we opened up the taping here, perennial powers in the area, Keystone and Elyria. Of course, Elyria coming off that incredible state championship game in June of 2017. They lost a key player in Riley Zana, but boy, you got to assume Ken Fennick, they don't rebuild, they reload at Elyria High. You have to think the bar is high and the expectations are high for Elyria Pioneer softball this season, as well for Keystone.
Yeah, and Elyria, they lost their middle infield as well. They had 2 seniors graduate there, but that's just 3 players. Well, I mean, it's not just 3 players, but they do have a lot back, including that battery, which was only freshmen last year, Izzy St. Peter and Macy Godbolt. So they're sophomores, with a year of varsity experience under their belt, with a state title under their belt, and all those girls are coming back. Got Macy Taylor in center field who's going on to play college, senior. You got April Hauser, a senior, who had tremendous performances in the postseason last year and really kind of sparked the team to that state title. So Elyria, yeah, they've got a lot back and are hungry to kind of repeat. They're going to have a tough, I think, that state title, well, not state title, but a potential state tournament berth might be decided in that district between Elyria and Amherst and Midview, 3 of the tough Division I schools in the area. And as far as Keystone goes, I was amazed last year that they had double-digit girls signed and committed to play college.
Yep.
Now, if you know softball and baseball, only 9 people play. So if they have 10 or more girls ready to play college, that means somebody who's not even in the starting lineup is going on to play college, which is super impressive. So that's the same this year. They've got 10 girls, again, on the Keystone roster who are going on to play college. So I'm just amazed by that program and what they're able to do as far as getting those girls ready to play on the next level.
And you alluded to the Midview program. Didn't mean to leave them out because I know Mike Ives and the staff and really the Midview community, they're excited about their prospects this year. The Lady Middies should have an outstanding team.
Well, again, they suffered minimal losses. Only 2 players graduated from last year from a team that gave Elyria its toughest matchup. They lost by a run in extra innings at the district tournament last year to Elyria. So they're pretty as well. Yeah, they've got some excitement going on over there. I kind of, it's almost a roll of the dice between those 3 teams, Amherst, Midview, and Elyria, on who is going to be hot at that moment. I could see any one of those 3 teams winning that district and potentially making a good run and getting to the state tournament.
All right. Now, before we close things out, during the football videos that we did over at Lorain County Community College, we did the thinking cap, where Bruce Bishop, who is again behind the camera for our softball and baseball videos, he maybe put the thinking cap on, and then for the Cobos Insurance Center Wrestling Show, we did the tip of the cap. Well, we had to come up with something for Dr. Kramer, who was sponsoring the baseball and softball video. So how about the bright smile performance? You got to like that, right? The bright smile performance from the past week. And, boy, you look at a great early season matchup between 2 of the softball powers that we alluded to, Keystone and Amherst. And how about Keystone's Autumn Accord with a 2-run home run late in the ball game to win it for Jim Piazza's club over Amherst? Number one, that's a great early season matchup between 2 of the powers in Lorain County, and then Autumn comes through with the 2-run bomb to win it for the Lady Wildcats.
Yeah, it was a tight game at that point too. Obviously, Keystone's losing late in the game. Autumn comes up with a big 2-run home run to pull it out for Keystone. And it's a game that I don't even think was scheduled to happen. I don't think they were originally on the schedule.
Correct.
It was, they knew rainouts were happening. They figured, let's make something happen because they had a field available, so they did. And otherwise, I don't think those 2 teams play each other. I know they're in the Priebus, but generally, Jim Piazza schedules the teams that come from outside the state to face the Lorain County team. So generally, Lorain County teams don't face each other in that tournament. So good chance for those 2 teams to meet up because they normally wouldn't, because one Amherst Division I, Keystone's Division II, and we got to see something special. And those who got to go out there and see that, got to see a really fantastic softball game.
So again, Autumn Accord of Keystone, the bright smile performance. See, that's why we're on radio. Maybe we should just hide those bright smiles.
Yes.
Well, as we mentioned, WEOL will have all sorts of coverage throughout the spring as far as baseball and softball is concerned. And Shaun, I know you're going to be out there at local Diamonds covering softball and some preview sections coming up in the CT.
Yeah, the baseball section came out in Wednesday's paper. The softball preview is scheduled to run in Thursday's paper. We are going to be covering, I think, 2 or 3 games in each sport each week, including any tournaments like Prowess or Wendy's on the softball side over the weekend. So we're going to do it up. We're going to try to get as much coverage in, as many county teams as we can. We're going to try to leave anybody out, get everybody some press time, and be a good time. Good season.
Absolutely. I love calling baseball and softball. I love doing it on WEOL. So, again, even though you thought you had gotten rid of Shaun and I for these weekly videos, we're going to be around for a little while longer. Huge thank you to Dr. Karen Kramer down in Grafton for sponsoring these weekly Diamond Chats. And, again, Bruce Bishop, thanks to you for running things behind the camera. Shaun, I guess we get to do this for a while yet.
Yeah, at least another, 7, 8 weeks or so. It'll be fun.
And let's hope we end up getting some softball teams down in Akron for the state tournament and baseball teams advancing down that tournament trail as well. For Shaun Bennett, Tim Alcorn saying thank you so much for watching this very first edition of Diamond Chat, and we'll talk to you again next week. So while we finished up our Diamond Chat, Shaun, I still want to talk a little bit about high school baseball, and one of the games early on that really garnered a lot of attention and was an exciting ball game, the Battle of Elyria. Elyria High, Elyria Catholic turned out to be a heck of a baseball game.
Well, I know the city loves it when these two teams come together. The 4 years they did on that football went nuts. People just packed the stadiums on each side and went crazy. So it is good to see them get on the baseball diamond, and wow, what a
unbelievable game.
Well, Elyria Catholic was coming off that close loss to Amherst. It's 2 of the top powers in baseball in the county, and they go in against Elyria, and they were feeling pretty good. I think they were up by 4 or 5 runs there late in the game, and Elyria just put a monster rally together late. 5 runs, I think it was,
yes,
in the
was
it 6th or 7th inning, or just incredible comeback for the Pioneers, and put themselves kind of right in the mix of, when people are talking about top teams in the county, now Illyria's got to be mentioned among them.
And that's a big win for Elyria High because they had really gotten smoked in their season opener. Amherst on the baseball side had really crushed them, and Eddie Piazza, the head coach of Elyria High, I saw his Facebook post saying, that's not the Elyria team you're going to see all year long. So they were kind of embarrassed by that. And for them to come back and really put together a late inning type of victory over their crosstown rival in EC, that's a big win for the Pioneer program.
Yeah, and it's a good way to start the season for the county and the area fans. I mean, just 2 good games between Amherst EC, Elyria. It sets the kind of the benchmark. It's what we want to see all season long from, all the teams that, hopefully get to play with this weather. You never know. We've missed all the games the last couple days here because of, bad weather and bad field conditions. But, if they can keep that momentum going and start putting together high-end, baseball and softball games, I'm going to be excited. The media is going to be excited. The fans are going to be excited. And, I would assume the players and coaches, they probably want blowouts on their end. But it's got to be fun playing in those games as well.
And on the flip side, you've got Elyria Catholic. They had a tough season opening loss. Now they lose this one to Elyria High. Bruce Lisicki's got a great club over at EC. He's got a lot of talent on that team. But, boy, you got to find a way now to bounce back.
Well, the thing you got to remember, too, is they played tough in both those games. And those are against 2 Division I programs. And,
right.
EC's... if they go in and they play tough and competitive against D1 schools and, get the most they can out of those games, it's only going to, behoove them when they're in the playoffs playing against, the smaller schools in their division. They'll probably – the same thing on the softball side. I see it year in, year out. Elyria Catholic Panthers softball team takes their lumps during the regular season because they're playing top-level Division I, Division II teams. Then they go in and they make runs to the regionals because they are now playing smaller teams their size, and they have all that experience from the regular season. So I would assume a lot of that will happen with EC on the baseball side as well.
And another baseball team we didn't get a chance to really chat about during the Diamond Chat, ironically, Keystone. But every year that program puts together a quality quality ball club. Of course, earlier it was Coach Clement. Now it's Coach Fitzgerald, Bert Fitzgerald. You expect big things again from Keystone this year.
Yeah, and I don't cover a lot of baseball games. I've been covering mostly softball games in the springs, but I think the most games I've ever covered are Keystone games out there at Penfield, and I think wherever else they play LaGrange community, or I'm not sure where all they play their games now, but I've been out there multiple times, and they've always been an exciting team to watch. I do enjoy watching the Keystone brand of baseball, and I know they take a lot of pride in it out there. Obviously, they're probably pushed by the softball success. You know, the boys want to make sure they're doing the same on that same level as what the girls are doing on the diamond. So
they don't want to get overshadowed.
Little sibling rivalry there, you know,
right,
between the brothers and sisters and stuff like that. So yeah, it's Keystone definitely is a team that has always excited me as far as baseball goes.
And one more school to talk about here a little bit before we wrap things up. Didn't get a chance to mention them in the Diamond Chat. Vermilion, great head coach on the baseball side, and Jeff Keck, great head coach on the softball side as well. And Bill Matthews, who went to Vermilion after spending a couple of years in Keystone, and then, of course, his legendary time at Amherst. But Vermilion baseball this year under head coach Jeff Keck, boy, you expect big things from the Sailors.
Yeah, and again, I don't know a lot about the actual roster. I'm going to read up on all that. But, man, what about their history? They have put some big names through to college and, in the pros and stuff like that. So they've got a rich history as far as baseball goes. So I definitely expect, Vermilion will probably be one of the names you hear a lot about during these upcoming weeks on the Diamond Chat.
Boy, how about a little bit of bonus coverage on the Diamond Chat? We thank you much for watching it and look forward to doing this all season long.